Well, unfortunately, we have some more sad and bad news going on in the video game industry today, where Epic Games had laid off around 900 people. These are the reports that are going on right now. If you scroll over to Twitter, you can see a lot of the reports going on that Epic Games has just been laying off a lot of people. And I just currently watched a video that Alana Pierce just put out, and she's talking about the sad state of the gaming industry, and she is predicting a massive gaming crash coming very, very soon. And this is something that I've been kind of worrying about very much. Like, I've been worrying about this gaming crash because we see these companies that spend 5 to 6 years making this AAA game that costs hundreds of millions of dollars. And then when the game comes out, it does not connect with fans, and the studio ends up having to close. It goes bankrupt. You have, companies like Tencent going out and buying all these different companies, and then when the games aren't performing well, they just get rid of the studios altogether. It's a very, very scary time right now in the gaming industry. It's a time that I'm really, really concerned about. And with game prices and console prices and everything going up, more people are starting to, close their wallet, and they're not wanting to spend top dollar for these games, especially these games that might not, connect with the audience. A perfect example of that is you see Square Enix right now talking about how sales for Final Fantasy 16 isn't quite what they were hoping they would be. Final Fantasy 16 is a game that cost hundreds of millions of dollars, a lot of manpower. It took many, many, many years for this game to make. And then when it comes out, it doesn't reach the expectations that the company wants, and this causes layoffs. Now, we haven't heard any layoffs right now at Square Enix, but we've had many layoffs this year alone in 2023, and there has been a lot of great games coming out this year. Games like Resident Evil 4, Starfield, Final Fantasy, like tons of different games. We got Spider-Man coming out here in October, but we see games like Forspoken come out, and it just does not connect with the fans. Forspoken cost, tons of money. We had the same problem with Callisto Protocol. Cost hundreds of millions of dollars come out, to make. Game comes out, does not resonate with fans, and this causes massive layoffs. We see studios closing each and every day because of the state of video games. Games are taking much longer to make now. They are way more expensive, and and it costs so much for people to get into games that a lot of people aren't buying them. This is something that I've been noticing, and I don't like the way gaming is going on right now. I much prefer to really support indie devs, companies that aren't run by shareholders, because shareholders just want more and more money. If they don't reach like an increase from year to year, then they complain, and they don't want to make the same as amount they made last year. They want to make more than what they made last year. That's the sad state of being a part of, shareholders and all that. You have no say really in your game. They want an increase every single year, and they don't care if it takes microtransactions, an increase in gaming sales. They don't care. They are willing to lay off anybody and anyone, and they do not care at the end of the day. And that is the sad state of games. We see where it looks like Rocksteady is going to have a real hard time with this Suicide Squad game, right? They have not had a game since Arkham Knight. They've been spending years and hundreds of millions of dollars developing the Suicide Squad game, and you see where fans aren't liking this thing. Like this very looks much like live service. So much for in fact that they had to delay the game almost a year, if not a little over a year. And this game does not look like it's going to resonate with fans. Fans do not want live service microtransaction games. We want what they gave us back with the Arkham series. And if this game comes out, if Arkham or Suicide Squad comes out and it doesn't live up to the hype of Arkham, it's very, very, possible that Rocksteady might end up closing as a company. We see companies close every single day, and that has a lot of, bearing on the fact that games are expensive. You have shareholders that constantly want more and more money. They're laying off, developers and everybody at these studios because they want to increase profit margins. And at the end of the day, these games aren't resonating with fans, and fans do not want to spend $70 on a game that isn't going to resonate with them. And that's the biggest problem. The price of games are so expensive. Even I haven't bought a lot of new release games. Games like Resident Evil 4 that I'm super hyped to play, I waited on because I'm like, I cannot afford to be paying $70. I bought Jedi Survivor for $70 on the PlayStation 5, and the game was broken for months. The game didn't run well. The performance mode was awful. It said 60 frames per second. It was running 45 to 40 frames per second. Like, it was broken. So a lot of games that I spent $70 on were not working right out the gate, and that makes me want to like hold off. Like Resident Evil 4, got a lot of great reviews, but a lot of people are doing like I'm doing right now, and they're saying, you know what, we're just gonna hold off and we're going to wait for the game to go on sale for like 40 or 30 bucks. And that's a much easier way to do it, to be honest with you. Just hold off and just wait for these games to go on sale. But it's very, very sad to see that Epic Games, a company that is responsible for games like Fortnite, that is making billions upon billions of dollars each and every year, has to lay off about 900 people from their development team just because they didn't reach their profit margins. It's sad. It's absolutely depressing, and I hate to see that happen. And unfortunately, much like what Alana said, I feel like we're going to get into a state of gaming where we're going to get to this bubble that's just going to burst, and the game industry is going to crash. The game industry that we know today is going to crash because you cannot keep forking in hundreds of billions of dollars and manpower and expect these games to sell. You see a game like Final Fantasy 16 struggling, because it released on PlayStation 5. It was the only console it released on, so it was the only market. So, of course, the user base for the PlayStation 5 isn't as high as it would be if it was multi-platform or if it was released on the PlayStation 4, where it has a much bigger install base. Unfortunately, this is the sad state of gaming, and we're going to keep getting these layoffs because these games keep costing more to make, and these companies and these shareholders want to see a bigger profit. But that's just my thoughts on it, guys. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about it. How do you guys feel about the Epic Games layoff? Do you think we're going to get a state where we're going to see a start of a crash in the gaming market? Do you believe Alana Pierce might be onto something when she's predicting that we're going to have a bubble that's going to burst at some point? Please do me a favor. Leave those comments in the comment box below. And until next time, as always, I am Robert Storms, and thank you so much for watching.